Hey there, crafty friends. My name's Misty and welcome to Gleespen Designs. I am beyond excited for today's video because it is a mystery box challenge. For those of you who do not know what a mystery box challenge is, a mystery box challenge is where a group of crafters send each other a box of items that we have to use to DIY with. The box might have a theme or even a fun twist like today's video. Today's mystery box challenge, we had to send 12 items in our box, and 6 of those items had to be an Easter item from our stash. So we have to use all 12 of these items in our DIYs, and let me tell you, that can definitely be a challenge. Now, this mystery box challenge is hosted by Kathy Jo from Kathy Jo DIYs and co-hosted by Missi from the Crafty Cove. There are 12 amazing channels participating in this mystery box challenge playlist, so I will have the link down below in the description box so you can go and check out all the crazy things that we all had to DIY with. I received my box from Amy at Bella's Bargains and sent my box to Sarah from Sunflowers and DIYs. So let's find out what Amy sent me. I'm nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm super nervous. Oh, there's a cute little note. A note from Bella's Bargains. Super cute. Happy Easter, Misty. I hope you can make some amazing crafts from the Easter surprises. What a fun challenge. So excited to see what you make. Let's be creative. Amy, Bella's Bargains. Thank you, Amy. That's so sweet. Okay. I hope you were nice to me. All right. We have tissue paper. I can't really see. I do see some ribbon, but you can't really see much. I wanted you guys to see, like, I don't see much. But once I move this, I probably will. All right, here's our first item. Okay, the little bottle brush carrots from Dollar Tree. These are super fun. I think I can probably come up with something for those. All right, we have, oh, I think these are from Dollar Tree, but honestly, I have never been lucky enough to actually find these. The little wood like pieces, these are really fun as well. I've been wanting these for a while, so thank you. Okay, so the next item that I do see in here right on top kind of is this ribbon here with the pastel bunnies, blue, green, pink, super Easter, super not Christmas. So this one might be a little difficult. All right. Oh. You guys, what am I going to... Oh, wait. I have a cute idea what I can do with these in a DIY. I actually do. But this could be definitely challenging. It definitely could be challenging. Thankfully, hopefully it will work out, but yeah, Easter glasses. Amy, I'm gonna get you back. No, this is cute. All right. Okay. Now I've had the round ones, but we have the Crafter Square, like square cube beads, unfinished wood beads. Not too difficult. Oh, okay, here we go. Kind of to go with it here is the larger wood cubes unfinished from Dollar Tree. We can make like a little snowman out of these. Fun ideas. If you guys cannot tell, I'm so nervous getting in here. Hopefully you guys can hear me very well. Oh, okay. What are we going to do with this? It is the like large sparkly egg. Oh my. All right. This is cute. And this could be definitely easily changed. Cute little Easter bucket. All right. My sleeve keeps wanting to go down here. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. We got this. This is like a floral ribbon All right, 30 feet, nice and wide. And it's like got a nice, what do I want to say? Almost like a metal look to it. There we go. Come on, pick it up, camera. Has like texture to it. That we can definitely work with as well. Next, we have the LED unfinished wood light. It says family, and I do believe it has this light in the back. Fingers crossed it's a white light. It is! You guys know, if you watch my channel, you know I don't care for the colorful lights. I love the white lights. Not that there's anything wrong with the colorful lights, but I prefer the white lights. Okay, here's another challenging one. Oh my. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. What in the world am I going to do with these, you guys? Oh my. Well, we'll think of something. Oh, nice. I think, here we go. Last but not least. Oh my goodness, and she sent me like the entire set. Thank you. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The calendars. We can definitely work with these. I know you guys are like, Misty, take them things off your head. I'm having a bad hair day anyway, so the ears probably made it look better. All right, so we found out what we got in our box, and let's see what we can come up with. For this DIY, I'm using one of the 11 by 14 inch canvases from Dollar Tree, and I also used my Cricut to cut out this really adorable Santa Claus picture. They do have several different ones you can choose from, but this one here was my favorite. If you do not have a Cricut, you could also just print out the picture and place it into a picture frame. A very sweet subscriber of mine noticed I was getting low on my bamboo sticks that I absolutely love and use all of the time, so they sent me these ones, and I actually like these ones a little bit better. They are a little bit different, and I do like them better because they are more of a square shape and not rounded on the ends. So next I went in and I tried to paint it with the Imperial chalk paint by Folk Art, but then I realized, wait, I should probably measure how long I need them to be so that I'm not, painting more than what I need to paint and just wasting paint even though I'm going to be cutting it off. So I just measured out the bamboo sticks how I needed them and just marked them down and cut them once I had them all painted. I do want to mention that these bamboo sticks are very easy to cut. I used these miter shears that I got off of Amazon. I will have the bamboo sticks and these miter shears linked down below in the description box if you would like to check them out. Once all the bamboo sticks were painted red and dry, I use my hot glue gun and I just start with the top piece and I place it right at the top of the canvas to create a nice border going all the way around the canvas. And when I do my borders, I always start with the top piece, then I go to a side piece, just because then you know where you need to place your next pieces and you don't kind of put them up a little too high and you don't have space for your next piece. So again, I just went around and glued these red bamboo sticks, creating a really pretty border going around our canvas. Now it's time to work with our first mystery box challenge item, and that is these Easter bunny glasses. They are glittery and pink and just so not Christmas. So I decided to take the earpieces off, and then I'm going to use my hot knife to just kind of cut off any of the pieces that are going around the glasses, like the little whisker pieces and as well as the ears on top, just so that I can cut everything off and have just the actual shape of the glasses and the glasses only. I will have this hot knife linked down below in the description box in case you would like to check it out. I do use it quite a few times in this video. It is very helpful and a tool that I absolutely love to have in my craft room. I again went in with that red Imperial chalk paint and I just painted the frame of the glasses with that red paint. Once the paint is dry, I add some hot glue onto the glasses where I know the canvas and the glasses are going to touch, and I just glued them right where Santa Claus's glasses would normally be on his face. How simple, how cute, and now this DIY is done.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
For this DIY, I found this really neat picture holder at Dollar Tree. It has this metal circle with a bar, and it has a little clip to hold your picture on there, and the bottom is a nice wood base. So I decided I wanted to remove the picture and the clip, and I'm also going to remove that bar in the center, well, that's on the circle. And if you've ever worked with a Dollar Tree wreath form, all you have to do is slightly bend it back and forth, and it will kind of pop where it was welded at. And then I just kind of pried it off the other side, and now I'm left with just the circle on the base. I go in again with that red Imperial chalk paint by Folk Art, and I paint the base to our picture frame. Now for this next step, you can use any ornament that you would like. Even if you have a sentimental ornament, I think this would be such a cute idea to display it. And I found this super cute snowman ornament at Family Dollar, I do believe, for $1.25, just like at Dollar Tree. And then I'm also going to kind of jazz his hat up a little bit more. I thought it was kind of plain, so I cut off some of these red berries from this berry bunch or berry bouquet pick from Dollar Tree, and I just simply glue a few of the berries onto his hat. Now I want my snowman ornament to dangle in the center of that circle, and I just grabbed the ribbon that is already the hanger on the snowman. I cut the knot off so that I can take both sides of the ribbon and kind of wrap it around that metal circle. I cut it down so that it dangles in the right spot, and then I just add some hot glue and wrap the ribbon around that circle and just hot glue it into place and cutting off the excess. And look how cute that's going to look dangling in the center of that circle. Now to work with our next mystery box item, and that is these bottle brush carrots from around Easter time. I am going to be trying to use something that no matter what I use from the mystery box, you can also use right now in case you cannot or you do not have these Easter items. So basically for these, you could do the bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree that they do have out right now. So all I did with these carrots is remove everything off of them, the hanger and the bow, and then I take this green paint that I actually mixed up myself. I was trying to get the closest color that I could to those bottle brush trees because I will also be using a few of those actual trees from Dollar Tree. So I just took a chippy brush and just kind of dabbed that paint all over these carrots until they were completely covered with the green paint. Then I take some faux snow while the paint is still wet, and I just kind of sprinkle the snow here and there on both of the trees. Like I had just mentioned, I'm also going to be using some of the actual bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree in this DIY as well, and the pack comes with several different sizes, so I just grabbed a few of the sizes that I'm going to be using, and then for the sizes that I'm not going to be using, I pulled the little wood piece, the little round piece down on the bottom of the trees off so that I could glue it to my carrot. And I did also cut one of the carrots down just to make a smaller tree, and again glued it to one of those round wood pieces that came off the actual bottle brush trees. So now they look just like the bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree, and honestly I really can't tell the difference. They look so great. I place the trees on the base where I would like them to be, and then I just start hot gluing them down once I liked the look of it. Once I added my carrot trees, I also added those Dollar Tree bottle brush trees, and I've asked a few people which one was which, and they definitely could not tell the difference. Once I had all the trees glued on, I'm going to add some faux snow just on the top of the base. I want to have the red part showing going all the way around the side. So I just take some Mod Podge and I put it only on the top part of the base, as well as on those round wood pieces that are the base of our trees. So once I have the Mod Podge covering the entire top part of the base, I use these round faux snowballs from Dollar Tree. You could also use their glitter snow if you would like. They have a few different options, and you could use your own option if you would like as well. This next step I probably should have did before I added the faux snow, but I got these wood cutouts from Walmart and they were sent by a subscriber. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And I wanted to add this little deer standing up down here in the trees. So I just add some hot glue onto the deer's legs and glue it to the base. And then I add some more faux snow just so that it covers up any hot glue and it looks like our deer is standing in the snow. In the mystery box were also these wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I do believe they're from Dollar Tree. And I went to grab these little stars and place them on the top of the tree, but I am weird about the color. It didn't match the deer, so I just added some antique wax on a baby wipe and very, very lightly darkened the color of these stars. Once I had the stars a little bit darker and to match the deer a little bit more, I just add some hot glue onto the back and then glue it to the top of a few of the trees. And once your stars are glued on, this adorable DIY is done.
These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been...
For this DIY, I found this really nice solid wood picture frame at a local thrift shop. You can use any picture frame that you would like. And I'm going to use this red Imperial chalk paint, again by Folk Art. And I do a really heavy dry brushing. Basically, I paint it, but I don't completely cover it. I do let a tiny, tiny bit of the white still show through. Once my red paint was dry, I used my antiquing wax just to add a little bit of aging onto the corners and as well as a little bit onto the frame itself. And I'm talking a very, very tiny bit, but it really does make a world of difference. In my mystery box, I had the set of the Dollar Tree 2023 calendars, and I could have chose any one to use, so I chose this one. I absolutely love this season's greetings picture. It is so pretty for Christmas, and I'm also going to grab the piece of cardboard that comes in all of the calendars. I need the cardboard and the calendar picture to go inside the frame, so I need to cut off quite a bit of excess. So I just measured out the inside of the frame size that I need, and then I used my rotary cutter and a ruler to just go around the picture and cut off the excess. And because the calendar picture is on top of that cardboard piece, it is also cutting the cardboard piece and the calendar picture at the same time. These calendar pictures do have these holes up here at the top, so I just flipped the calendar picture over and painted the cardboard white where the hole is so that once I laid the picture back down, you could no longer see the hole. Next, I'm going to need one of the chopping mats from Dollar Tree. These do come in a 2-pack. You will only need one of them, and I just placed it on the basically using the cardboard and my rotary cutter to just cut that mat down so that it is the same size as our picture and as our cardboard. Now that everything is the size that we need it to be, I'm going to use some Mod Podge and I'm going to place a nice amount onto that cutting mat from Dollar Tree. And then once I have the Mod Podge complete, I cannot talk today, you guys. I am so sorry. Once the Mod Podge is completely covering the cutting mat, I'm going to take the calendar picture and glue that right to the cutting mat so that therefore we have a harder background or backing to our picture, but it is also see-through so that our lights will show through. Once the Mod Podge was dry, I flipped the calendar and the cutting mat over, and I'm going to start adding some fairy lights. I got these fairy lights off of Amazon. I love the tiny little battery pack, and they do come in a nice bulk amount for a very great price. I will show those a little bit later on, but I take these fairy lights and I'm going to make sure that the battery pack is down here starting at the bottom. And then I take the first light and the second light on the string and I just kind of pinch them together so that it creates one larger light. And then I'm going to start hot gluing it onto the back of our cutting mat where I need the lights to show through. And if you look closely, you can tell that you can see through the calendar picture when I lift it up so that you can see where you need to place your lights and you can kind of see where the trees are at. You can definitely see it a lot more in person than you can see it showing through on camera, but all you have to do is just kind of keep picking up your calendar picture and you'll see the silhouette of the trees showing through, and you just continue to keep gluing your lights down wherever you would like a light to show through on the other side. When you're gluing your fairy lights on, you do not have to pinch the two lights together like I did. The only reason why I did that is because I wanted the lights to be a little bit bigger showing through on the other side, but it does work perfectly fine just hot gluing your fairy lights wherever you would like a light to show through, just doing one light at a time. Now, I did my fairy lights on all 4 of the trees that are in the background, and I also did the tree that is in the truck. And then I took 2 of the lights that is on the fairy light strand, and I also placed them on the back of the truck where the tail lights would be. Once I had all my lights on where I would like them to show through, I take that piece of cardboard and I just place it right on top of our picture, and then I'm going to place it inside the picture frame, and it fits perfect. I'm so glad because I kept cutting and cutting away and I just was so worried it was not going to fit, and it definitely fit perfect. And then I'm going to take some of these bamboo sticks yet again. Like I said, I use them all of the time for so many different things, and I grabbed 2 of them, cut them in half, and I'm just going to start taking one of them and gluing it up here at the top so that it holds our picture and the cardboard inside of the frame. I repeated that step with the other 3 bamboo pieces, making sure I hot glue them to the cardboard and as well as to the frame so that everything stays in place. Now, because I used so many lights and did add the 2 lights together, I used 3 strands of fairy lights, and you want to make sure that when you glue them down to the back of your frame, you glue them where the screws are facing up so that you can unscrew it and change out the battery. And trust me, I have definitely glued it the wrong way before, so I made sure I glued it the right way this time. And you guys, you can totally do this with 1 strand of fairy lights just by simply gluing them on one at a time and not pinching the 2 together. Once I had everything glued down, I'm going to use this lovely Easter ribbon that Amy sent me, and I decided I want to try and spray paint this. And unfortunately, the spray paint that I had was a gloss. I wanted a red spray paint, which I did have, but the only red I had was a gloss. Well, it worked, and it worked perfect, but I just did not like the gloss look. So I took that red Imperial chalk paint, again by Folk Art, and I just started adding that and painting the entire piece of ribbon. And I painted the front and back, 1 coat each, and it covered this ribbon absolutely perfect. Once my red paint was dry on the ribbon, I used this burlap from Dollar Tree and I just cut off a piece that I knew was going to be big enough that I needed. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut off the wire that is going all the way up either side of this burlap ribbon so that I then just have the inner center part of the ribbon. I want more of a frayed end on either side of this burlap, so I just grab one of the strands on both sides and pull it off. However, I did grab too many strands on this side, so I did have to kind of cut down those little pieces that hang out. But once I had those cut down, I pulled off one of the strands on the other side, and then I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and add some hot glue going down the center of the red part of our ribbon. And once I had the hot glue in place, I'm going to hot glue our burlap right to the center of our red ribbon. Once I had the burlap on the ribbon, I then cut off the excess bunny ribbon that we no longer need. And I'm going to take some painter's tape and I cover the center of the ribbon so that I just have that wired part on the outside of the ribbon showing and exposed. Then I'm going to take some white Rust-Oleum chocolate paint in the color Linen White, and I just start painting both of those edges so that once it was dry, I could remove the painter's tape and I would have this really pretty white edge to the ribbon. Along with our bow, I want to use some berries and greenery, so I use 2 picks from Dollar Tree, this white berry bouquet as well as the red berry bouquet, and I just cut some of the greenery and the berries off of both of these picks. I wanted to have the greenery on hand because knowing what greenery I'm going to use kind of helps me with the size of the bow that I'm going to be making. So once I have my ribbon and my greenery nearby, I go ahead and start placing the ribbon into a loop, and the size of the loop that you make your ribbon is the size your bow is going to be. So I just cut it down to the size that I wanted my bow to be and then added some hot glue onto the back of the ribbon and basically just gluing the ribbon into a loop. I used a piece of jute twine. You can use ribbon or whatever you would like, and I just take the jute twine, and this is jute twine from Dollar Tree, and I squish the ribbon down in at the center, and I take the jute twine and just start, well, basically tying it into place so that the bow will stay where I would like it and nice and pinched in at the center. I then take some of the excess jute twine and just wrap it around the center of the bow so that it has a nice and prettier center look, and cut off the excess and hot glue the jute twine in place, and now you have a super cute little bow. I wasn't sure on where I wanted to place my bow at first, but I did decide on gluing it off over to the side. And once I had my bow in place, I just started playing around with pieces of Dollar Tree greenery that I had left over or had fallen off, and I also used the pieces from those berry picks as well. I personally like the look of several different greeneries, so I had this greenery pick that I actually got from a local thrift shop, and I just pulled a few of the pieces off and hot glued them into place. And really all I did here, you guys, was just play around with several different colors and textures of greenery, and as I liked where I placed them, I hot glued them down. Once I had my greenery in place, then I went in with the berries and I just cut them down and started placing a few here and there. I used some of the white berries and then I used some of the red berries, but I did try and use different styles of each one. And just like I did with the greenery, once I had the berries in the place that I would like them, I just went ahead and started hot gluing them down. For a last little finishing touch, I wanted to add a white bell but did not want to paint any of them, so I just grabbed one off of this Dollar Tree door hanger and cut the bell off, added some hot glue, and glued it to the center of our bow. And once the bell is glued on, this DIY is done. Here's how it looks normal with the fairy lights off, and then here is how it looks with the fairy lights on. This is so pretty. I love how it turned out. I do need to add a new battery where the fairy lights are on the tree in the truck, but nonetheless, this is absolutely gorgeous and worked out perfect.
So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all day.
For this DIY, I'm going to be using that bunny ribbon yet again, and I didn't really measure. I just cut 3 pieces nice and long so that I can take them, and I just taped them down using some painter's tape so that once I had them taped down and they would not move, I take that red Imperial chalk paint, again by Folk Art, and I just start kind of painting just those wired pieces. Not the center. You do not have to worry about the center at all. We are just going to be painting the outer part, which is the wired part of the ribbon. And I did that on both sides. So once I did both sides of the ribbon, I then flipped it over to the back side, and also it did the back side on both sides as well. Once I had the wired part of the ribbon painted red and it was dry, I used my scissors and just cut off the wired part of the ribbon on both sides of the ribbon. I repeated this step on the other pieces of ribbon as well so that I just had these wired red pieces left. I want to create these really pretty spirals, and I know that with this being a wire, it is going to spiral perfect. So you can use a paintbrush or whatever you would like and just start taking these wired pieces and twisting it around this. I believe I'm using an X-Acto knife. Kind of dangerous, but of course that's what I grabbed because it was nearby. But I recommend using the end of a paintbrush or a marker or a pencil, and you just twist it around and then slide it off and kind of pull it out, stretching it, and you have these gorgeous spirals. Dollar Tree carries these clear DIY ornaments. They have them in several different shapes and sizes. It does not matter which one you use, you just want it to be clear. Then I'm also going to be using the snow inside of these glass pieces from Dollar Tree. I love the faux snow inside of here. It's super realistic and not really sparkly, so I wanted to use that. Now, before I add the faux snow, I realized I might want to glue down my tree. So I'm going to be using one of these white trees that come in this pack of 6 from Dollar Tree, and they do have several different sizes in the pack. So I just take the tree, add a little bit of hot glue on the bottom, and place it down inside the ornament. Now, I did have to use my Cricut tweezers to get it down inside and glue it down onto the ornament. Now that my tree is glued down, I can use the faux snow inside of the jar. I also did decide to add the berries as well as the pine cone, so I took those out before I added the snow inside of the ornament. And all I'm going to do is place the faux snow from the glass jar down inside of the ornament. And you guys, I don't know where they got this faux snow, but I need to find it because I love the look of this snow. Like, I have literally bought probably 8 of these jars just for the snow alone. Now, once the snow is inside, I add the berries as well as the pine cone. And then I am going to use another one of our mystery box items, and that is these beads. This is one of the cube bead garlands that Dollar Tree carries, and all I'm going to do is cut one of the ends so that I can grab 3 of the wood beads, and I'm just going to simply hot glue them together side by side. Once all 3 of the wood beads were glued together, I found this glass writing pen at Dollar Tree, and I really love this. It is a glass paintbrush pen, so I'm going, well, glass paintbrush marker. Look how fine that tip is. It is so nice. It is not rounded. It is a super fine tip so that you can write really small letters. And I just wrote the word joy, J on one block, O on the other, and the Y on the third. And I wrote the word joy on all of the sides that you can see on those wood blocks. Well, I guess you could say wood beads. Next, I'm going to take the word joy and I'm going to place it right down inside of our ornament. And once I had the joy down inside the ornament, I am going to add the red spirals that we created earlier from the ribbon. I do cut a few of them down and kind of stretch them out or bend them how I would like them, and I just place a few down inside of the ornament. I wanted to add a touch of greenery, but not too green, so I found this snow fern from Dollar Tree. It says fern, but is lightly, well, nice and frosted, I guess you could say. I just pulled one of the top pieces off and again, placed it down inside the ornament as well, and I'm loving the way this comes together. Now, all I do is add the top back onto the ornament, and then I'm going to take some Dollar Tree jute twine and just place some hot glue on the back of the top part of the hanger, and I just wrap the jute twine around the hanger until the sides are covered. I hot glued the jute twine down in place and then cut off any excess that I needed to. I'm also going to be making the new hanger out of the jute twine, so I just cut off a piece and then placed it down through that loop right here and gathered it up at the top and tied it into a knot. Once you have your knot nice and tight, you can cut off any excess jute twine. And now you have this pretty hanger for your ornament. I decided I wanted to add a bow, so I grabbed this red ribbon from this pack of ribbon that I got from Walmart for around $4, and I just cut off a piece. I make 2 bunny ears, and then you're just going to tie them just like you would your shoestring. Make sure you pull your loops nice and tight, and then you can kind of pull at the tails to make sure that your loops are the size that you need them. And once they are the size that you would like, again, make sure you pull your loops as tight as you possibly can. Then I just fluff out my loops like I would any other bow, and I also decided to go ahead and dovetail the ends. So I just fold the ribbon and the ends in half and cut at an inward diagonal angle, and you get these beautiful dovetailed bottoms to your ribbon. Now I have this cute little bow, and all I'm going to do is add some hot glue on the back of it and glue it up here at the top of our ornament. I also decided I wanted to make a bow out of this twine right here from the Walmart ribbon pack. So I just cut off a piece of that, created a bow the same way, and then hot glued it on the front of our red bow. And now this adorable DIY ornament is done.
These are the good times with you, baby. This year it's just gonna be you and me. By the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold.
For this DIY, I'm going to use a pack of spoons from Dollar Tree. They're plastic party spoons that they have in their party aisle. I did try to cut off the handle with some scissors, but it did just break. So I got my hot knife out. Again, I will have this linked down in the description box. I got it off of Amazon, but you can get it from lots of hardware stores, craft stores, even Walmart will have something that you can use exactly for this as well. So what I did is I cut off all of the handles on the spoons, and it cut very, very easily, very fast. It did not take me very long at all. And I cut the spoons right where the spoon kind of starts to fan out for the handle. Next, I take this amazing hammered copper Rust-Oleum spray paint. You guys, the lid does not lie. It looks exactly like that. I sprayed all of the spoon tops and then let them dry. Now I'm going to take our egg from the mystery box, and they have this, like, it has these little glitter pieces. So I just took my hand and rubbed all that glitter excess glitter off because it had these chunky glitter pieces on there. I did have to take my zip sander, which again will be linked down in the description box, to make sure that all that glitter was off the egg. Then I just put it on a paintbrush so that I could take my antique wax. You can use brown paint for this as well, and I painted the entire egg. Once the antique wax is all dry, or whatever paint you use is completely dry, I use my hot knife once again and I start cutting out the circle that I'm going to need to put my candle down inside our going to be pine cone. So all I did was just start cutting out the circle, and then I'm going to grab the candle from this wood family decor piece from Dollar Tree, and all I do is just place it up here at the top so that I know how big the hole that I need to make is going to be, and I just simply kept cutting it out until the candle could fit down inside. You could of course use any tea light candle that you would like, as long as it does not have a real flame and it is battery operated. That is why I wanted to use the candle from the mystery box wood family decor piece. I'm not sure what you would call that, but once I had the hole the size that I needed it to be, I also took the antique wax and painted down inside the egg as well. Next, our spoon pieces are dry, and look at that. Tell me that does not look exactly like the lid on the spray paint can. Okay, now to turn an Easter egg and a bag of spoons into a pine cone, I start up at the top of the pine cone. I make sure that the spoon is hanging over just slightly, and then I start hot gluing it into place. Then you're going to take the next spoon and do the exact same thing, and you're just going to keep hot gluing them down one next to each other, slightly, very slightly overlapping. And once you have the first row, you can move on to the second row, which all you have to do then is place another piece of the spoon down underneath the first row, but in the center. And you also want to make sure that those are overlapping as well. And as you could see, I did also place the tea light candle down inside just to make sure that it would fit. And now, just like with the first row, you're going to continue placing the top parts of the spoon going around your Easter egg, one next to each other, and also overlapping the previous row. It really is super simple. You're just going to keep gluing down your spoons until your egg is covered, and here's how this gorgeous DIY turned out. I honestly think this pine cone candle is so pretty, and it is just so unique, and I really love that hammered copper color. For this DIY, I'll be using the bunny ears headband, and I'm just going to start by cutting off the fur. And I thought I would be able to slide it off, but it was glued where the ears met the band. So I just clipped around the bottom of the ears and was able to pull them off with just a little bit of extra strength. Once I had the ears removed from the headband, I also went to remove the blue check fabric so that all I have left is the white fuzzy fabric. So I just take my scissors and go around the ears where the seam is, and I cut off any of that blue fabric. So again, all I have left is the remaining white fuzzy fabric. And I do this to both of those ears, even though I do only end up using one piece. Using another mystery box item, I'm using these wood cubes from Dollar Tree. They come in a 3-pack, and I'm going to be using my Dremel. I got this off of Amazon. You guys, I shop a lot on Amazon. I am an above-knee amputee, so it is just easier for me than actually going out to the store. A lot of these things, like my tiny saw, you can get from Harbor Freight and things like that. Just shop around and find any good prices or wherever you would like to shop. So I just drilled a hole into the wood piece so I can add my Christmas tree, and then I'm taking this white fuzzy fabric and I start wrapping it and gluing it around the wood cube, just like if it were a Christmas present, except for on the bottom, I want the wood to be exposed so that our tree stands up straight and doesn't lean over. I felt like if it had folded fuzzy fabric on the bottom, it would probably not stand up very straight. So I just basically wrapped this white fuzzy ear around the sides and the top of this wood cube. So right now these fuzzy wrapped presents are really popular, and that's kind of the look that I'm going for. I do just take a dowel and stick it right down in the fabric so that I know where my hole is going to be. But I'm going to also be using one of these Dollar Tree trees. I'm obsessed with them. I think they are so pretty and definitely worth $1.25. So I just pulled it off of that round bottom and hot glued it down into our base. To get more of the wrapped Christmas present look down at the base of our tree, I'm taking another one of those wire pieces from the ribbon that we painted and then cut off just the wire part from the bunny ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it going around the base of the tree and hot glue it into place. Then I take it and wrap it the other way and do the exact same thing, hot gluing it down at the base so that it looks like it is a wrapped Christmas present. Now that I have the wire pieces wrapped around the bottom of the base how I would like it, I also want to create a bow with the same wire piece from the ribbon. So all I do is create the awareness ribbon shape just like this, and then I'm going to grab the loop up here in the center and just bring it down. That's pretty much all you have to do. Now you can take some jute twine or ribbon, whatever you would like, and just tie it in at the center so that everything stays in place. And you can cut off your excess ribbon or jute twine, and then also cut your tails down to the length that you would like them. Fluff out your loops just like you would any other bow, and you have this cute teeny tiny bow. Then I just simply glued it right at the top of the present. I didn't want to glue it in the center because I want you to be able to see the cross of the ribbon. So for quite some time now, Dollar Tree has had berry picks like this, but I swear this is definitely a lot bigger than they normally are. The berries are just, some of them are bigger, and it is just a lot more fuller than the ones in the previous years. However, just like with all of the berry picks, some of the berries will fall off very easily, which is what I wanted. So just to get the berries to fall off, I just took my hands and kind of rubbed up and down each one of the branches so that the ones that were loose would fall off. Once I had enough berries, I just simply started taking them and adding hot glue onto them and gluing them onto the tree wherever I see fit. You can glue as many or as little as you would like. You could also add fairy lights to this tree, really so many different options. But once I had all of the berries on that I personally liked and thought it looked good enough, this DIY is done. I personally love how this DIY turned out. It is just a cute little shelf sitter, and it is so much fun and quick and easy to make, and a great way to jazz up those Dollar Tree Christmas trees. For this DIY, I'm going to start off by making the little presents that go with it first. So I'm using the other two wood blocks from the mystery box and the ribbon as well. And all I did was pretty much wrap these wood blocks like you would any normal Christmas present. And I did do that just by simply hot gluing it and folding it over top of each other. Again, like you would a normal Christmas present. I also wanted a larger size of a present, so I did one of the Dollar Tree larger wood cubes that I had previously had painted white for a different project. But again, I just wrapped that in that silver paper or silver ribbon as well. Then I'm going to be using 2 different Dollar Tree ribbons, this white ribbon as well as that gorgeous silver ribbon. And all I'm going to do is wrap these like you would the ribbon on a Christmas present, or at least how I do it. I kind of cheat. I don't really know the correct way to wrap it, but all I know is I wrap it one direction and then I wrap the other direction and you get the same look. So I did that with the white ribbon and I just wrapped it around and hot glued it into place so that it has that great beautiful ribbon wrapped look. And I do that with all 3 of the Christmas presents, the 2 smaller and the larger one as well. Then I'm going to take that really pretty and neat silver sparkly, I guess it's not really a ribbon, it's more of like a string, but I just take it and instead of wrapping it completely around the present, I glue it to the bottom side, then I wrap it going around and then glue it to the bottom side on the other side. I don't wrap it going down around the bottom because I figured with the shape of the ribbon it will kind of make the Christmas presents sit wonky and not sit correct. So I just left the bottom flat, and by doing that I made it so that the presents will stand up correctly and not sit sideways or leaning. I then repeated the same step with the ribbon on the other 2 presents as well. Now, of course, I had to go a step further and make my own bows for the top of the presents, and I wanted to do them a little bit different. So I again take that silver ribbon and I start cutting strips of it, and I did end up cutting them down even thinner so that they weren't so thick. And once I had them down to a nice thin ribbon, I just took them like, I don't know if you guys ever have done this before, but if you know how to curl ribbon, basically all you have to do is press it firmly on a corner, basically like your scissors, and start pulling downward or pulling up on your scissors as you kind of take your thumb and peel it out, and it will make the ribbon spiral and have these really cute spirals like you see here. So then I did cut a lot of them down to really small pieces so that I can start gluing them together individually so that I can create those, you know, like at Dollar Tree, or you'll see at the party store, those bows where they have the curly things. I don't know what that kind of bow is called. I have no idea, but that's what I'm going for here. And I had to do it in a teeny tiny little bow because our presents are teeny tiny. So I just used my hot glue gun and glued a few of those end pieces together, creating a little curly bow. And then I glued it on top of each one of the presents. Now that the little presents are done, I'm going to move on to the tree and the stand. So for part of the stand, I'm using this Easter bucket that Amy sent me in the mystery box. I start by sanding it down just slightly so that the paint will adhere a little bit better. And I use my white Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Linen White. I only give it 1 coat. It doesn't have to be completely covered because we will be covering this anyways. This is just basically going to be your base. And I did also paint the inside of the bucket with 1 coat as well. Next, I'm going to take some Dollar Tree spackling, and I've had this spackling forever. It is so dried up, and all I'm going to do is I want to get kind of like a cake icing texture. So I add a little bit of water into the spackling and start mixing it up with a spoon. And then once I have the texture that I'm going for, I just start taking the spackling on the spoon and slapping it right onto the bucket like as if we were icing a cake. Now, I also did find that it was easier to kind of take the spoon and drag it up from the bottom of the bucket up to where the lip is so that everything gets covered evenly. And then once I had the entire bucket covered, I went in with my finger and just smoothed it down even a little bit more. It does not have to be perfect. And that is because we are going to be taking this icing comb set. It comes in a 3-pack. All 3 are different. And I'm using the one where the pieces or the jagged edge is closer and smaller. So I just take it and I start at the top of the bucket and I drag it down. I'm not pushing it too hard. I'm just kind of sliding it right over it. And each time I wipe it, I do wipe off the comb and then go down another line. I made sure that the bottom did not have any extra spackling on it, and then I set it off to dry. I found this gorgeous candlestick holder at a local thrift shop, and you guessed it, I am going to, or maybe you didn't because you're probably like, what in the world are you doing? But I promise it comes out so pretty. I love this technique, and I definitely did not come up with it. I've seen quite a few other creators do this spackling texture technique. So I put some spackling onto the candlestick, and I just start rubbing it onto the candlestick so that I can get some of that spackling texture. And again, you do not want it to be perfectly smooth. You want it to have that really pretty texture. Then once it was dry, I hot glue the bucket right on top of the candlestick holder. For the actual tree, I'm going to be using 2 of these Dollar Tree Christmas trees. One I got this year, one I got last year, and I swear they are 2 different greens. It might just be me, but I swear they're 2 different greens. Either way, it does not really matter. We are going to be covering most of that anyways. So if you've worked with these Dollar Tree Christmas trees, you know they are very sparse. So I'm going to be taking 2 of them, and I grab one and move all of the bristles to one side, or branches to one side, and then I take the other tree and move all of the branches to the other side, and then we are going to take zip ties and zip tie the 2 trees together. And this will make it so that you have one much fuller tree. For these 2 trees, I only ended up using 2 zip ties, one down closer towards the bottom and one up closer towards the top. Then just like with any fake Christmas tree, you want to fluff out any of the branches, making sure that you place them where you would like them so that your tree looks nice and full. Now at this point, you can leave your tree green like this, or you can do a flocked tree like I'm going to do, and I'm doing the spackling technique while we have our spackling out. So all I'm going to do is place some Dollar Tree spackling inside of a cup, add a tiny bit of water just to loosen it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to take a chibi brush and start placing the spackling all over my Christmas tree. I pretty much take the paintbrush and I start dabbing it on every single one of the branches, and it really has this nice gathered snow look on the end of your branches. And I love this technique. I've done this technique on a large, like really large Christmas tree, and it is actually still perfect, and we're going on like 2 or 3 years later. So this technique definitely works very well. Now, I also wanted to have kind of more like a falling snow look. So while the spackling was still wet, I take some of that faux snow that is inside of those jars that I absolutely love, and I sprinkle it all over the spackling, and look how gorgeous that is. I truly wish you guys could see it in person, because then you can really see each one of those snow pieces. Oh, it is so pretty and realistic looking. Now I'm taking one of the Dollar Tree styrofoam cones, and I just broke off the top part and just kind of like breaking it in half basically. Then I glue it down inside of the bucket on our candlestick holder, and I make a hole with my scissors, then shove my Christmas tree down inside the foam inside the bucket. Earlier when I made those curly pieces with the ribbon and my scissors, I saved a few of them, and all I'm going to do is take them and just tangle them up in my hand And I make a few different bunches of these, and then I place them down inside the bucket, but just having them peeking out from underneath the tree ever so slightly so that you can see some of those curly pieces peeking out. Then I also do take a few of them and glue them inside some of the tree branches so it has these really pretty spiral silver pieces pulling out and coming out from the tree. Honestly, I think it's gorgeous just like this with the silver and the white, very simple, but of course, you know me and I have to go a step further. Here is the Amazon lights that I was telling you guys about. They come at 32 in a pack. They are 10 feet long with 30 LEDs, and you also get a little screwdriver to change out the batteries. Now, they are only at $29 or $28.99, so under $1 per light. I strung the lights through the Christmas tree how I wanted them, and I tucked the battery pack down inside of the bucket, and I will have the link to these fairy lights and anything I use off of Amazon down in the description box. Now, of course, you can decorate your tree however you would like, but I wanted to stick with the silver and white theme, and I found these styrofoam snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and they are very glittery and just really pretty, so I placed them on the tree, and once I liked where they were at, I hot glued them down. In my home for Christmas this year, I'm doing a white, silver, red, and black theme, so I decided to add these little bulbs that I got from Walmart for $4.98, and I just placed a few of them onto the tree wherever I liked, and that's it, you guys. This gorgeous high-end tree is done. I am obsessed with this DIY. Those gorgeous little silver Christmas presents, the texture on the stand. Oh, I just love this one so much. Let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comments.
And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
For this DIY, I'm using 5 of these 12-inch wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I only need 4 for now, so I do set 1 aside. And I'm going to use this super glue wood glue. It is absolutely amazing. Yes, it is a super glue wood glue. I always cut the hole too big, but this stuff is from Dollar Tree, and let me tell you, you really probably don't even need the hot glue. I'm just so used to doing it and also wanted to make sure, but that stuff works amazing. So I use the super glue wood glue and some hot glue, and I glue 2 of those pieces together so that I have 2 really long pieces of wood instead of 4 smaller pieces. So again, you're gluing 2 of the boards together, then the other 2, so that you have 2 really long boards that you can use for your new centerpiece. Once you have those 2 longer pieces done, you will also need a long sign from Dollar Tree. I used this Easter sign. I remove anything off of the front as well as the tag and hanger. And you guys, this fits on these wood pieces. Well, the wood pieces fit on it absolutely perfect. Like, they are the exact same length. As you can see, I placed the boards down on either side of the sign where I want to glue them. Then I just pick one of the boards up, add some of that super glue wood glue, as well as a little bit of hot glue, and then I glue that board down to the side of the sign. And I flip the sign around and do the same thing over on the other side as well, using that super glue wood glue and hot glue and gluing that wood piece down. Once we have these longer sides glued down, we need to do the other sides. So we're going to take that 5th piece of wood, and I use the cutest little saw in the world. I got it off of Amazon. I will have a link down in the description box, but I just took that 5th piece of wood and kind of held it up to the side, marked it with my pencil, and then I just used that little saw to cut the wood down to the size that I needed it. And let me just say, I know I did not use the saw the correct way. It was my very first time, and then my fiance was like, no, this is how you do it. So do not do it how I cut mine at all. You want to have that flap down. I did have safety goggles on, but I did not cut it the right way. But I did wanted to show you guys that it will cut these pieces of wood and Jenga blocks or whatever you need it to cut perfectly fine. Now that I have those pieces cut, I use the super glue, wood glue, and the hot glue again to glue those sides down. And then I'm going to take some spackling from Dollar Tree and just kind of fill in any cracks or edges or like where the wood met together so that it all kind of looks like one cohesive piece and you don't see any gaps or anything like that, because one, I'm not the best at measuring, so it wasn't completely perfect, but with the spackling it was able to look so much better. Once the Dollar Tree spackling was dry, I did use my zip sander to kind of sand all of the wood down and where the spackling was so that everything was nice and smooth. These wood pieces can kind of tend to give little splinters, so you do want to sand it down. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I really don't like stain. So the smell, and it takes forever to dry, and I don't care for it. So I do the faux stain technique, which is just mixing a little bit of whatever color paint that you would like, and you can do any color, purple, any green stain, whatever you would like. I used the Hello Hobby Cafe Noir. It is a beautiful like chocolatey brown color, and then I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I did add a little bit of black. But this faux stain technique, you guys, if you've ever done it or you've watched my videos before, you know how amazing it works, and it dries literally within seconds. So try it, give it a try. I promise you will definitely like it, and there is no icky smell or anything like that. So all I did was kind of get my stain to the color that I want it. Now keep in mind, once it dries, it will dry a little bit lighter, and I just use a paintbrush and I go ahead and paint it on as if it were paint. If you get too much on, you can wipe it off or just kind of take the paintbrush and blend it in like you would normal stain, but for the most part you just need to paint it on and it will turn out absolutely beautiful and look just like stain. I actually think this color turned out so beautiful once it dried. I did have a hard time wanting to paint it, but I knew that's where I was kind of going with this project. But I absolutely love the color that it turned out. And I did go ahead and stain the entire thing, even down here where the sign is on the bottom. Once the faux stain was dry, you guys, again, I'm so obsessed with this. I think it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I was going a certain direction with this, so I did start painting it, but let me tell you, I sat in my craft room just staring at it for probably about 20 minutes because I just love that color. Let me know what you guys think of that color, of that faux stain down in the comments. It just looks so rustic and just beautiful to me. But again, I was going a certain direction, so I use my white chalk paint and I do a heavy dry brushing, almost kind of getting it to look like that shiplap look in a way, and I do this on the entire piece. Once you have it completely painted how you would like it, it would look like this if you do it the same way that I did, and again, I am loving this as well. Now this original DIY was made in one of my fall videos a while back, but I wanted to jazz it up a little bit more and also change it out for the Christmas season. A centerpiece like this, especially a simple, beautiful wood piece like this, definitely can be used all year round and change out the decor for each holiday. I remove everything that I used for the fall season, and then I wanted to also give it a little bit of an extra special touch. So I'm using these wood beads from our mystery box. They are the square wood beads from Dollar Tree. It is a garland, and at first I thought I was going to use 8 of them, but I did only use 6. And I go ahead and paint all of them with my white Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Linen White. I will be using these wood beads as tiny little legs for our centerpiece so that it raises the centerpiece up just a little bit. However, before I did that, I wanted to put a nice bottom on the bottom of my centerpiece so that you do not see the sign that I had used to actually make the centerpiece. So I just take some Mod Podge, make sure that you get all around the edges very well. And once I had the bottom covered with Mod Podge, I use this brown wrapping paper from Dollar Tree and I just roll it right over the bottom of our centerpiece. I tried to smooth out any air bubbles that I could, but of course it was not perfect, but that's okay because this is the bottom and it looks better than what it did at least. So now I'm going to remove the excess paper by taking my zip sander and I'm going to sand on the edge going all the way around the bottom, and you can see the paper falling right off and coming away from the edge. And once you go around the entire bottom edges, you can lift your centerpiece right up and away from that excess paper. Now that we have a nicer looking bottom, I'm going to take the wood beads and place them where I would like to glue them. I add one on each of the corners and then one in the center on both the front and the back. So I use, again, 6 total, and once I have them in place, I just go ahead and go around and glue them down. Once they are all glued in place, they will raise the tray up just a little bit, and that is perfect. However, we are not done with the bottom just yet. I got a pack of these beads of these lights off of Amazon. They are fairy lights and super long. They also have that small battery pack that you guys know that I love. So I want to make the centerpiece look like it is glowing from underneath. So I'm taking the fairy lights. Make sure you add your hot glue onto the side without the screws so that you can change out the battery if need be. And then I glued it off to the side, and all I'm going to do is start taking the fairy lights, and I do use my hot glue gun. It worked out perfect, and I go around the bottom of the centerpiece. I do try and stay on the inside of the wood beads so that you don't necessarily see any wire or actually see the lights. You just see the glowing from underneath your centerpiece. You guys, I swear I'm gonna say centerpiece 100 times if I haven't already. So because these Amazon fairy lights are so long, I was actually able to go around the bottom of the centerpiece 2 times and hot glue all of the lights in place. Then I also was like, you know what if we add another color? So all I had for another color was these red fairy lights from Dollar Tree. These, I think, were new this year. I'm not 100% positive. I just know I've never seen this actual set before at my Dollar Tree, but as you can see, they are much smaller than the Amazon lights, and the battery pack is much larger. So I was not going to be able to glue the battery pack underneath the centerpiece like I was able. I'm trying to think of something else to say other than centerpiece, but apparently it's not coming to me. Anyways, I did the red lights just like I did the white lights, but I'm just going to place the battery pack up on top. And for the greenery, of course, we're going to use some Dollar Tree greenery, and I am obsessed with this fern. It just says fern, but you can definitely tell it is very frosted and so pretty and just really gorgeous for winter time. I use 5 of these fern picks total, but for right now I take 4 of them and I fan each one out, and then I place 2 on one side and 2 on the other facing outward. I also take some of these frosted greeneries from Dollar Tree. These are really, really pretty and really realistic looking as well, but I decided I wanted to kind of sandwich all of these together, or kind of Oreo them, I guess you could say. So I take a fern and then I take a frosted greenery, place it on top of the fern, and then add another fern on top of the frosted greenery. Then I just pull them in so that they are a little bit more inside the wood piece. And now I take one of my favorite Dollar Tree Christmas trees and I place it right in the center. I take that 5th fern pick and I just start pulling it apart and putting the pieces where I need any filler pieces. And you guys, this is coming together so pretty. I don't know about you guys, but I love the different greeneries and the different texture. That is just super pretty, and I really feel like this is coming out so high end. At first I was going to just keep it the one tree in the center, but I wanted to add a smaller tree on either side. So I took a pack of Dollar Tree bottle brush trees and some of their faux snow, and I sprayed downward so that the faux snow really caught onto the branches. And I also sprayed over top of the centerpiece so that any excess faux snow would fall down onto the centerpiece, making it look like it had even more faux snow on it than it already did. And once my trees had enough snow on them to my liking, I just moved the greenery over a little bit and placed one of the smaller trees on either side of the larger tree. Dollar Tree carries this 16-pack of silver ornaments. They have them in several different sizes, colors, and styles. I wanted to use just the matte looking bulbs, so I got those out and placed them wherever I liked. And I did also add a few of the white plastic deers, but I lost that footage. I just placed them right in front of the trees, and here's how this DIY turned out.
The snow is falling down.
I think this has such a glam, high-end look to it. It is absolutely gorgeous with the silver and the white, but you can also add other elements like other bulbs, other colors, and do so many different things with this. I added a few little red bulbs and turned the red lights on, and I don't know, you guys, which way do you like better, with the red or with the white? I truly hope you all enjoyed these DIYs as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you, and it was so much fun to make. If you click on the title to the video, your description box should pop up, and then you can see the link to the playlist. Now you can go check out what I sent Sarah in her box to craft with. It is going to be so much fun. I hope to see you all and a few new friends on the next one. Bye!